Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. We're going on day 32 of the guitar challenge today. And as you can see, I got this Epiphone Starling in disarray at the moment because it is time to change the strings on this thing for the first time. I got this guitar about a couple days before Christmas in 2024. My wife bought me this for Christmas, and I was like, man, I've just been playing every day, so the strings are starting to sound flat and dull. And I was like, it's time to change up the strings. So today I want to do a little video about how to change your strings, because if you're a beginner guitarist, or even if you're an intermediate guitarist out there, some of us don't think about this stuff, and your strings will sound really flat and muddy, and they'll have like a little bit of oxidization on there, a little bit of dirt and grime. So it's a good thing to do maintenance on your guitar every now and then. And when you're doing maintenance on here, what you didn't see before I started this video is the fact that I detuned all these strings and I just kind of pulled them up off the fretboard just like so. So if you can do this, they're loose enough to detune and take the strings off. What happened is my phone got full of storage, because I do these videos every day, and I do about 6 of them at a time actually, so like I can keep track of all my work stuff that I got for day job and everything else. And yeah, the phone got full, so it ate my video. Thanks, cell phone. Yeah. Anyways, what I was saying with this is to go ahead and make sure when you take the strings off, clean everything up nice and neat with a soft cloth. Like you can get a microfiber cloth to do this. A little bit of tung oil or a little bit of olive oil works great on wood, to go ahead and kind of keep things nice and neat, and to go ahead and clean your guitar. Because like you want to keep this thing for many, many years, and you want to be able to play almost every day if you want to learn. You don't have to play for every day if you don't want to learn stuff that fast, but like me, I find myself just like, it's really cool playing every day, because it's giving me the joy of guitar, which I love for starters. It's also making me learn a lot faster. We just did that day 30 video the other day, and so day 30 video, I was talking about all the different things that I've learned this year so far just by playing every day. And you guys are keeping me on my toes. I love how you post the questions, so keep those coming in the comments about stuff that you want to learn, because helps me become a better guitar player as well. And I want to say thank you on there. One thing I'll mention is I'm taking these strings off on here. Now that I got all these strings off, is just what I do when I'm taking these strings off actually is I tie them in a knot so they're all together. So just kind of wrap it around like this and then pull them through. The reason that I do this is because they're now all kind of accompanying for them, and they're not going to come back up and pop me in the eye. I wear glasses, so you get a little bit of protection, but that's a big thing when changing strings on guitars. Sometimes they move and they'll just like whip you real quick. I cut my cheek before changing guitar strings, to be honest. Anyways, now we got all these off of here. We're going to clean the fretboard in just a moment, but first I want to show you how to get these little pegs out of here. Now what I do is I just put the guitar flat like this. So I'm going to see if you can see that. Here's our pegs right here. I stick my hand in through the sound hole. Just kind of reach right under there. I push up on the pegs. Just gently, gently. Those are in there pretty good actually. So what I'm going to do, on this little capo that I bought, I've got this little C-shaped kind of thing on the top right here, which will lift up on the pegs. I'm going to slide that underneath. I'm just going to lift up. If anybody wants me to link this little capo, this is pretty cool because it has a pick holder. Let me see if I can get that to focus. It has a pick holder right on the top so you don't lose your pick. Clips on the underside, so you can kind of squeeze it like this instead of over, which is always tougher, I found. And then also it has this little thing to remove your pegs, which is pretty cool because like down underneath, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, if this will focus or not. I almost just cut my finger off on camera on here. So yeah, you want to go ahead and pop out those little things. That makes the job really, really easy on there. I already got some grooves and these little things in the bridge on here as well. So we're going to clean this up best we can today. This Epiphone Starling's great. My ultimate goal is to go ahead and save up. Get me a J45 as my ultimate guitar. I might get like a Eastman, PCH, OM along the way, because they got a different sound on those. But I'm looking at that J45 as my ultimate goal. Okay, so these are getting stuck in here. If they get stuck, I'm just going to gently slide the fingers underneath. This is why I tie all those strings together, so I can get under there and pull that out. There we go. This is a little bit different than my original Takamine, but you can see the little ball on the string right there. If you've never seen that before, just gonna pull these out best we can. Little balls kind of wrapped underneath there. And here we go. All right, so see, here's my tip, my trick for you, is tie all these strings together just like this, so that when you do pull them out, you don't start losing them on the floor or whatever. You can see, like right here, if I can get this to focus like that, these strings are just dirty, and they already started sounding flat, like I mentioned on there. So if they start to sound flat, it's time to change your strings. Simple as that. You're gonna tie another knot in these just to go ahead and do them, because they're going to go to the trash today. I don't know if you're supposed to put them in the trash, to be honest, but like I've always just thrown my strings out when I change strings and stuff. I got this nice little soft bag that my capo came in the other day. They gave me this in the capo. So I'm just going to gently clean my frets on here with this. I don't have any oils or anything like that handy today, so I'm just going to kind of get all the dirt and grime off best I can with this little thing on here. It's soft enough, but it'll clean it up really nicely. Somebody the other day said that they name their guitars as well. I never thought about naming my guitar before, but you named a guitar. I've named a camera before. I named a camera Gertrude. It was an old Leica M6, and I was just like, oh, Gertrude, because solid camera. I ended up selling that to a friend, and I paid a good amount of New York City rent back in the day, I'll tell you. But anyway, it's like naming a guitar. Have you ever named a guitar? If you named a guitar, pop the name of your guitar in the comments on there. If you never named a guitar, considering naming the guitar, what would you name your guitar if you could name your guitar? Let me know that too. I'm curious, because like I have no clue what I would name a guitar if I was to name a guitar. What do you think I should name this Epiphone Starling? Just Epiphone, or should I call it a name? You guys tell me what you think on there. Anyways, I'm just making sure the body's all cleaned up, because I've definitely got tons and tons of fingerprints over here. This is a nice glossy finish on this guitar, so I want to make it shined up nice and neat. And there's probably some type of cleaner for this too. See, it's really dirty. If I can get that to focus on there with this little improvised cloth thing I'm making on here. But anyways, nice and neat. Let's put that up. Yeah, mirror finish on there in the room. Pretty cool. We're just going to finish cleaning it up. I'm going to show you how to put on these strings real quick. Like I say, if you guys want to get to the good part on here, just fast forward to where I pop in the strings. I'm going to go ahead and just put this video up as is, because I don't spend a whole lot of time editing this. I just really don't have the time, to be honest, because I'm doing other stuff. So, got to keep moving. This is a personal project this year. Okay, we're going to clean up the pick guard just a little bit. All right, there we go. We got it presentable on here. I'm just going to clean up the top a little bit to get all the dust off, because you get your guitar, even if you play every day, your guitar is still going to be a dust magnet. That's the way I think about it. Because like that happens, life happens. You can clean up the back just a little bit as well. Make sure you get all that stuff off there. I don't know if that happens, because like sometimes, like where your arm rests on the guitar, like I get a little bit of, to be honest, not to be gross, like sweat and stuff like that on there. And when you get on there, I bet that affects the tone of the guitar just ever so slightly. So that's why I'm cleaning the guitar. Ranger says hello today, everybody. Everybody say hello to Ranger in the comments. Ranger's angry about something. Don't know why. Ranger always does that to the neighbors. Whenever the neighbors do anything out there, the neighbor could probably get a cup of coffee. Ranger has something to say about it some days, I tell you. There we go. All right, we got it cleaned up pretty good on here. So that looks good. I'm going to just take this along the back side of the neck. Get all that stuff cleaned up as well. Guitar maintenance 101 when you're changing strings. Use it as an opportunity to maintain your instrument. You'll have this instrument for a very long time. Gonna clean our headstock, get all the dust off there and stuff. like I say, everywhere on a guitar gets dusty. Because you live in an environment, and even if you don't live there, you'll still find dust. That's what I'm going to say. There we go. All right, nice and shiny. That's not focusing, but that's all good. All right, so next step is we got our tuning peg, or not tuning pegs, but our little pins or pegs out of here and stuff that hold in the strings. And I'm just going to take this pack of these strings that I've already opened. I'm going to pull all of our strings out of here. Okay. So normally in a pack there should be 6 strings because you're on a 6-string guitar. If you're in a 12-string guitar, that'd be a different ball game. But here's what it looks like on here, 6 little packs. If I flip this about, you can see all your different string gauges, if I can get that to focus as well. Maybe, maybe not. Let me pull that back. There you go. So on the back of these two, you can tell just by the number. 12, this right here, if I can get this in focus, is lower than 16. And so you can tell the order of the strings you want to put them on. Now, my recommendation, somebody might have a different opinion, but I mean, my recommendation is low E string first, because that's going to put the heaviest tension on the guitar. And so we're going to take the low E string, I'm just going to set it flat on my knees. Some people have special tables for this, if you're a luthier or something like that, or even if you're really into maintaining your guitars and stuff. I don't have that luxury being on the road in Columbia at the moment. And so I'm just going to take that pack out. Here's my low E string. We're just going to unravel that so I don't hit myself in the face. Now, an important part I always find on here is this little ball thing right here. Turn that so it's got a sideways angle right there, if you can see that. And then put it in a hole like that, because what you're going to do is you're going to take this little pin that has this little groove right here, and you're going to put it right down on top. So it slides into the string like this, and it pushes down on that little ball to hold that ball in place. When I didn't think about this before, I have had strings that snapped right out of the bridge and about took my head off. So you just got to be careful. We're going to just carefully place that in. We're going to push down and put it into place. Just like that. I'm just pushing down with my thumb. You don't need a special tool to push down these pins on here and stuff. Just push them down like with your thumb on there, put a good heavy weight on it. Then we're going to string it up just like so. I always just pull a little bit of tension in here to kind of stretch the string, start to stretch the string a bit. And then on the headstock up here, I'm going to turn my hole on the little tuner towards the center of the nut, which, let me see if I can show that real quick. So right up here, we're going to work with this little tuner first, which this tuner is for the low E string. I'm going to turn this until this little hole inside this tuner faces about 45 degrees in, because that way I can pull the string inward and around to load up my guitar. Okay, so I got that in position. I'm just going to go ahead and run the string through. Some people believe in wrapping their strings around a couple times before you pull the tension on here. That might be a good idea, actually. I'm just going to pull it about finger tight and pull right here. What that does is it makes a kink right there in your string. Then I start to turn inwards so it wraps around in this counterclockwise direction. Okay. You can hear the string stretching just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the audio. Really, really low sound on there. So as you start to do this, when you get about a quarter turn around on there, just start to stretch your string a little bit. Not too hard, because you don't want that pin to go flying. See, it's already looser than loose could be on here. And this is why I don't wrap my strings around a couple times, because I do this little stretching exercise to get my strings where I want them to be. So about another good quarter turn around. Start to come up. We're just going to keep stretching just a little bit. Make sure you stretch across the neck on here too, because strings have different pressure points, especially with these phosphor bronze strings and stuff like that, have different pressure points. See, flat again. There you go. And we're going to tune up. This will help the guitar stay in tune faster on there also by stretching your strings. So now we're going to do about a halfway up where that little circle goes about halfway up. And you can see sort of up here I've already got one wrap all the way around this peg. So there you go. Already that string sounds a heck of a lot better, I'll tell you. Remember, just gently stretch the strings. Gently stretch them because they will go flat. And you probably have to come back in a couple hours after you string up a guitar and retune it a couple times on there at least, because that's the thing with new strings on there. Okay, so we got that one pretty good tension on there. It sounds pretty decent. And the thing is I don't tune one string before I put on all the other strings. So we're going to get all of them so they got one wrap around the peg first, and then we're going to try to tune them up. So next one, going to be B42 on here. So that's going to be our A string. Let's just open this up, throw that over on the desk. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Hold it away from you. Don't take off your head with this thing. And then take one of these little things, turn this little anchor on here sideways, put this little pin in just like I showed you on the rest of it. Rewind if you need to do this as well, because that way it'll help these from popping out right in your face and all that stuff. Don't want anybody to get popped out in the face like I did before. Okay. Got that one pushed in, looks good, yep. So 2 strings in, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do this on the middle tuner up here. In the middle part on this, we're going to turn this so that whole face is 45 degrees into that nut. Coming about. Oh, we got to turn it the other way. Okay. Don't worry about this part right up here. I'm going to tell you, you can take like a tin snip or something like that, and you can clip that off. Which I don't even know if I have a tin snip here, to be honest, but yeah. So pull that on the outer side, make that little bend on there, and just start to bring it in with the tension. Hold this right here, and you can see it start to pull around. Just remember, about a quarter turn from where you were, and then start to mess with this a little bit, doing that little stretching exercise. I know this stretching exercise might be boring for YouTube, but trust me, it's going to help your strings sound a whole lot better later on here. So we're going to go ahead and go around on this. Another quarter turn about. This is what my guitar teacher taught me back in the day, is these quarter turns on here, because quarter turns gives it enough tension where they start to stretch and settle into position on there. Just make sure your pegs are in down here too, so don't go flying. Okay, we're going to go about another quarter turn. Okay, and I got 2 of them. I don't know if that will focus right there, but I got 2 of them with one whole wrap around on there. It's definitely not in tune, but it is what it is. Okay, next one, B32. I feel like I'm going to do bingo on this on here, to be honest. Okay, so we're going to rip the pack, pull out B32 for the D string. Same exercise. Remember, get used to this holding them away from you. They jump out as a surprise. And then we're going to go ahead and just pop this little string in right here. I'm doing the same exact thing as I did before. So I'm just going to do it a little bit quicker to save you guys some time. Because when we do all these strings on here, this could be an hour-long video just to change the strings on here if we really slow it down. So if anybody has any questions about what I'm doing on here as well, please feel free to put them in the comments. And I reply to all the comments that I can. You know, all that good stuff. I answer questions and all that good stuff to help people learn. So if you guys got questions, happy to help you out. Let's see, I need to turn that the other way because that little thing needs to wrap around the other side. Quarter turn, remember, quarter turns. Okay. Now we're going to stretch, 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 stretch. There we go. We're going to keep coming about. You see how I hold that string at all times right there so it don't slip back through the tuner peg, because that can happen. Okay, so I think we got that string pretty good. We're just going to bring it around a little bit further to get it right where the other ones are. One wrap around. There we go. Sounds glorious, doesn't it? Okay, next one up, we're going to do the G string. It's going to be this one right here. And so we're just going to unpackage. Okay, there we go. The good thing about this video being a bit longer is if you are truly starting out as a guitar player and you never changed strings before, you can change about the same pace that I'm changing on here. Like I say, if you're more advanced, you want to just pick up tips and skim through this video, that's cool too. But I would recommend to go ahead and just try to do it at the same pace on here, because make sure everything's right so you don't have problems with the guitar. Okay, we've got the fourth pin in. Now this one on the headstock up here, we're going to go into this one up here. And so we're going to take this G string, that's already about 45 degrees up. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it just a little bit. And so if these are pulling inner for counterclockwise, this time we're going to go clockwise on the other side on there, because you want to always pull it in towards the inner part. That'll support by the neck and the truss rod and stuff is what I was taught. So I'm going to pull that up, bend that in, and we're going to turn the belt. Go on a quarter turn. Quarter turns, quarter turns, quarter turns. Okay, gonna hold that in. Already you can see the color of these strings just looks a lot better as well. And the color, it might not sound like it, but it's actually an indicator of your tone. Because if your strings are rusty and crusty, your tone's gonna be rusty and crusty too, to be honest. So. Okay, so we're going to get that around. Whoa. And you can just see as it was captured on video, that little peg went snipping right out of there. And if that happens, that means that you don't have that ball flat against the peg on there. So it's lucky for me, didn't have my eyeball or anybody else in the family in this room right now to experience that. Just going to work that way back in there again. See, what happened is there's a little bend in the string right there. I had the string a little bit too far in the hole. This is the first time I changed strings in like a long time, to be honest, because it's been several years since I've been down here in Columbia and haven't had access to a guitar for a while, so we all make mistakes sometimes, live and learn. Just the thankful part is my eyeball was not taken out, I'll tell you. Okay, so we got to go a couple more wraps around to take that in. And when I start to feel tension right here, I'm just going to double check that peg. Make sure it's seated in good and nice, because so I'm going to put a little pressure on it down here and make sure it sits nice and easy, because if that string is in there wrong, it's going to slip at this point. It's going to pull up to that peg, and that peg is going to go flying, which I don't want that peg to go flying. So got a nice open tuning or something going on right there. There we go. So there we go. All right, we're going to do our B string. I'm going to do these last two strings, and then I'm going to let this guitar sit and stretch for a bit. I'll do a tuning video next on there, which I'll show you how to tune up the new strings if you've never done that for the first time. But I'm just going to basically get all the strings on here, and then this has got to set for a couple hours to settle. so that I can go ahead and tune it up. Some people will tune it right away. I'm a fan of waiting a couple hours because that way I don't have to tune 500 times instead of tuning just maybe 3 or 4, you know. Gotta let them strings just settle right in. Okay, so this time I'm gonna carefully get this little peg situated, and we're gonna run this up. I think if we actually waited on this video for the strings to set in and tune on here, that it would probably take us an hour for a video. I don't want to do that long of a video. Maybe this will be like 30 minutes max or so. We'll see. I appreciate y'all for being with me and stuff. If you guys enjoy this type of content to learn your guitars and stuff like that, learn how to play, learn chords, learn theory, stuff like that with me, feel free to go ahead and jump up there and subscribe to the channel. We're doing this all year for 2025. I'm doing this 2025 guitar challenge because my wife bought me this beautiful guitar. And my goal is to learn all the theory and stuff that I never learned like 30-something years ago, and to get better as a guitar player and work my way up to that J45 and earn that J45. Because like there's people out there that have that kind of money to buy that guitar. I mean, that's cool, but like I believe that you have to be able to play that guitar to be able to get that guitar. So if I can play to the level I want to play at by the end of this year and I've got that money in my pocket, we'll get that J45. That brings me to a point too while I'm doing this. If you want to help me to support my goal to get that J45, if you're learning something from this channel, I've got a membership section right up here on YouTube. It's $4.99 a month. It's not going to break the bank. It's like a cup of coffee. But you can subscribe and you can get access to all my videos early so that you can see them before they drop. I drop 1 video a day normally, but you can get them early so you can learn at your pace on there, which a lot of people find handy on there too. Okay, so we got 5 strings down. And if you do just decide to subscribe for the membership, I want to say I appreciate you in advance on there. I'll send you a little note and say thank you and all that good stuff, because that's how I am. Okay, so last string, we're going to do high E string, and then we're going to go ahead and jump off. I'll do another video about how to tune this guitar, and that'll be a different thing here on the channel. So this one has a little tangle in it, so I want to get that tangle out, hold it away from the eyeballs. There we go. So last one. So we're going to make it flat. Just remember, make this little ball flat. And push this little pin in right here. I remember doing this on my Takamine. One day maybe I got to get a person to replace the bridge on there because some of the strings ate the bridge. That happens on acoustics. Good quality acoustics shouldn't really happen as much, but some of these beginner acoustics that happens with on there. So, okay, again, we're going to turn this little tuning peg so that hole is 45 degrees into the nut. And we're going to go ahead and put the string through. We're going to thread the needle, so to speak. There we go. Settle it into the nut. And we're going to go ahead and grab this little string right up here and pull. Make sure this pin is seated in down here. I should probably take off my watch to do this because you don't want this clanking around on the guitar or scratching the guitar or whatever, but it is what it is today. This little guitar is just something to keep me going, help me learn, all that good stuff. So I wish I could go ahead and take this guitar up to the States when I get my family up there and stuff, but you know it's really expensive to travel with a guitar, so I'm going to go ahead and probably keep this one down here with family, and then when I come back down I'll have something to play and I won't have to pay the airlines ridiculous amount of fees to check a guitar or pay for a travel case and stuff like that too. So I'm going to stretch this string again, and if that pin was going to pop on there, that'd be the time it would pop on there. Okay. So I got all those pins in on there. That's what those new shiny strings look like on here. And when you come back over here to that low E string, you can already hear it's dropped like an octave on there at least. Beautiful. It's not tuned up yet, but like I say, I'm going to let her sit for about maybe a couple hours, and then I'll come back, I'll do another video about how to tune it up and stuff like that, just so you all know how to properly tune a guitar and stuff. I use a tuner app myself, but if you can figure out what the sound of the low E is and then you can memorize it, I'll share a couple tips in the next video on there on how you can go ahead and actually just do that one string. Then you can find out what the rest of your strings are too, so you can just get ear trained. That'll help you out in the long run as well. So again, thank you all for being here. If you want to go ahead and get more guitar videos and you want to do this stuff with me to learn, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like the videos, all that good stuff. Leave me comments about what you're learning or what you want to learn and stuff like that too, and I'll try to incorporate it in future videos. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.